They came from far and wide on this cold and rainy evening, deaf Muslims and their families, and others who want to support the project.
Our beloved brothers and sisters who have limitation in terms of speaking, hearing, they are those special groups of people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put as a trial for us, especially in this night.
Deaf children struggle to communicate with their parents and teachers. When it comes to religion, most have no one to translate sermons in the mosque or provide religious instruction in their own language, which for many is sign language.
There's also people in other religions that learn from their churches in their own languages. But so far, us as deaf Muslims do not have that opportunity to learn in our own language.
Abdullahi came to America from Ghana 10 years ago and has worked on numerous projects to help deaf people here. 5 years ago, he founded Global Deaf Muslim. The group has pushed to get American Sign Language, or ASL, interpreters into mosques so deaf worshippers can understand the services. One major mosque in the Washington area started religious classes for the deaf just this year.
They are very, very interested in knowing about Islam. They have some wrong notions, and they also are afraid, and they have heard things not authentic, and they want to know what is really authentic and what's not. So they want to learn about Quran, they want to learn about their religion.
Now, Global Deaf Muslim is taking the idea further. This fundraising dinner kicked off a campaign to raise $147,000 to translate the Koran into American Sign Language and make it available on DVDs. The first step is to help ASL interpreters develop a specific sign language vocabulary for interpreting the Koran.
And then we're going to have a sign language class and a training class for them to be able to understand the basics of Islam, the 5 pillars. So the interpreters in sign language are able to match the scholars that we're bringing in who understand the Quran.
The DVDs will be made available to individuals as well as mosques and schools.
There'll be a menu so that they can read a specific verse or a specific surah.
This man, the son of immigrants from former Yugoslavia, came from New York to support the project.
I feel like it will give me much more accessible knowledge to the Quran. I won't have to depend so much on the words in English.
Global Deaf Muslim's vice president, a student from Riyadh, says the project is already inspiring deaf groups in other countries, which all have their own separate sign languages, to think about doing something similar.
My idea is that in Saudi Arabia, the deaf Muslim community will be able to have their own translation there. And we're right now focusing on the American Sign Language, but it will be completely different, and we're hoping that that might catch on, of course, in Saudi Arabia.
Muslims who are deaf have always been at a disadvantage when it comes to learning the teachings of their religion. This project aims to remedy that by, for the first time, translating the Koran into American Sign Language, the native tongue of many of the deaf people who live in the United States. Burton Bolag, KSA2, Washington.